All right, we are live. What's going on, ADPI? Welcome to another short interview of ADPI Frontline Report. Today we have with us a special treat. We've got action taker, Brooke Strom. Brooke, can you please say hello and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. For those of you who haven't seen me creeping all around the ADPI group, I am Brooke Strom. Just like Eric said, I live in Duluth, Minnesota, so northern Minnesota, basically Canada. And I got added to ADPI about a month ago from my friend and realtor Vanessa Noble up in Alaska. And that honestly is like my first introduction to real estate investing. So I have been trying to take in everything I can, and networking with everyone I can and talking to everyone I can to find out more about all of it.
Yeah. All of the things, as you like
all
to say.
The things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So we obviously love Vanessa. She is heading up our ADPI Realty, which is a new formation and nationwide outreach for real estate investing educated realtors and agents across the country. So that's going to be an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. And so you're in Duluth currently. And what is how long have you been thinking about real estate investing?
Like a month.
Okay.
A month.
And what the reason that you're on here is, well, first of all, you're amazing. And second of all, we constantly saw you taking action. I mean, that is the theme of what we're talking about here. You're Action Takers Only Mastermind student. What other resources have you used of ADPI's in the whopping 1 month that you've been doing this?
It's probably easier to figure out which ones I haven't, because honestly, sure. I went through the website and there was a deal going on. So I signed up for the Real Estate Investing Academy. And so with that, I got the Adam membership. So I've been using those two. And then in the resources tab, I went through there and I did a consult with Brandon Cox for my taxes and with Anderson Business Advisors for how to structure everything. Let's see, the podcast I've been listening to.
So we saw that, and so for those of you out there watching this, and there are a lot of people who are constantly reaching out to us and saying, I don't want to post in the group. I'm, fearful of getting out there and putting myself out there. So, and I know that this is an uncomfortable thing for you even right now, right? Mm-hmm. But the first time you do something, the next time you do it, you're not fearful of it anymore. No one in their right mind likes the way they look or sound on the airwaves or on, Facebook or whatever. Right. That's fine. But the point of it is, next time you do this with us, it's not going to be scary. When you do your first deal, when you sign up for your first course, when you open the ADPI website and click on some links and go like, well, what am I doing? The next time you do it, it's no longer a scary thing. Nothing happened. The earth didn't shake when you did these things. But the important thing is that you got through a barrier of being analytical, maybe, or to some people they're highly analytical and just think, well, I don't know how to start. I think I can do this on my own. But you really took those action steps and are now implementing them. So let me ask you from what you've learned so far, and I know this is super fresh, and I can't wait to do this again in a year or 6 months to see like where you've gone from there. But where do you see yourself going? Where do you and your husband feel now like you can do? Like, what do you want to do in real estate investing?
Oh gosh. Well, per your advice, I honestly think we're going to try a little bit of everything and figure out what works for us and our family. We have 2 young kids, so trying to balance everything and figure out what works best. So I've looked into a couple different options with turnkey. I've looked into the BRRRR method, and I think we're probably going to try that. Cool. My husband is in construction, so he's going to do a lot of the work, which I think will benefit us. I just talked to Tim the other night about the multifamily investing, and I definitely am interested in that. So I think I'm going to try to get into that one. But honestly, I want to try it all and figure out what works best for us, because I mean, this is not like a one-way street. There's tons of different avenues for real estate investing, and
Yep.
I'm all for trying everything and figuring out what we like and what works for us.
Yeah, and what we had talked about, and some people will say, don't dabble in real estate. You need to be a serious investor, and certainly that when you are taking investments from your investors, that's something definitely to take into consideration, especially in the commercial multifamily world. But it's okay when you're getting started to try out a whole subset of things to see what fits for your family and for you personally. Honestly, your personality, you take that into account when you're going through this. You might find that single family investing is the one thing that you really want to do, or just like maybe wholesaling or whatever it is. You find that niche, you hone in on it, you put your head down, and you do one thing really well. I mean, I have friends that are very successful wholesalers and they don't want to do anything else. That's totally fine, and that's what we love about real estate investing, is it's so dynamic. Right. Not only are there different things you can do, but there are different ways you can structure each one of those as well. So,
right.
So what about, so is your husband still active duty? Are you still active duty?
I am still active duty. Well, okay. I'm active guard reserve. So
and
that's
he's in construction. Yeah. You're AGR, right?
Yep. And my husband is retired from the Army.
Okay.
So
awesome.
He's construction.
So dual VA loan. Are you guys planning to use the VA loan on any house that you have? Is that a consideration?
It's definitely a consideration, but we have to figure out. Actually, I was looking at the VA Mastery course too. Yeah. How we can use it, because we currently have a VA loan on the house we live in.
Yeah.
But if there's an opportunity to use his VA loan, we certainly will take advantage of that, because his
sure is. Yeah.
No fun.
Yeah, so
no money down. Awesome.
ActiveDutyPassiveIncome.com/connect. That will get you in touch with either our branch manager or chief financial services officer, and they can help you guys if you have a similar question, or if you're just interested in a single family property that you want to buy. We own the mortgage branch, and we do that intentionally to keep rates as low as we possibly can, to do things the right way for you guys. So, yeah, and so that kind of ties into another free resource, which is our book, and that you have the unique ability, a dual VA loan. If anyone listening out there has a spouse that has served or is currently serving, there are some crazy scenarios out there that people can buy some amazing asset types with dual VA loan capability. But certainly look into that and reach out. This is directly to you, Brooke. Reach out and make sure you're talking to Spencer or Jason about what your capabilities are for that. Because if you're open to moving out of that property into another one, because obviously it's a live-in owner-occupied loan product, but holy cow, if you can rent the one out you have and move into another one, or maybe a duplex tri or a fourplex,
right?
That's easing your way into real estate investing. It's the Military House Act. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, I kind of kicking myself for not doing that when we bought our first house in Alaska, but you live and you learn.
And you don't know what you don't know. And that's actually what birthed ADPI, was us wanting to offer things that we didn't have and to explain things that we didn't know. And so that's kind of why we're here. And that's why I'm glad. It made me super excited to have you to do this specifically, because I know that your message can resonate with so many people who are scared to post, scared to ask a question because they think that people are going to think it's a stupid question. I'm telling you guys out there are no stupid questions.
No.
Brooke took the bull by the horns, and she's probably talked to everyone at ADPI, and she has been checking out the courses, checking out all the free resources, asking the right questions, and constantly engaging. And here she is already thinking about her next strategy, thinking about next steps, and just strategizing. This is a long play thing. Yeah. And but you are off and running, and I just want to congratulate you on that. And we could change the name of this to like Action Taker Highlight of the Month, Brooke Strom, or something, because you really have done a great job just taking the bull by the horns, like I said. So.
Yeah, well, thank you. When I first started, I certainly was like, okay, I was probably like most people in the group, and I was like, I don't know anything. I don't even know what half these acronyms are. I can't even understand the question that this person is posting about.
Yeah.
But then I started reading the book, and then I did the academy, and now I'm like, oh, I know all these acronyms, and now I can actually ask a question without sounding like a complete doofus.
Yep.
But yeah, I was totally nervous to start, so I get it for anybody who hasn't.
And that's totally amazing. And so what we say, learn, network, take action. I say learn, network, add value, take action. Whatever, however way you want to say that, that is what you are doing right now. If you're listening or watching this right now and you're wondering how do I get started, I was responding to some posts this morning on people who were just getting into the group and going, I don't know where to start. It starts, here's the success formula that Brooke has clearly found on her own. Wherever you found it, you're implementing this strategy. Learn all you can. You were just talking about that. Learn the language of real estate investing. And that's what you're currently doing. You're doing a really good job at it. Learn all you can. Inside and outside this group, podcasts, blogs, whatever you can absorb it, whatever time frame you have. Then you've got to network. You're engaging. You're in, you said Adam, that's Action Taker Mastermind. That's our private Facebook group and mastermind that has a ton of other value. We're about to add calculators that calculate BAH and all this other crazy cool stuff. But military specific real estate investing calculators. But anyway, so Adam, you're networking in there, you're networking in here, you're networking with the ADPI team, you're networking outside of this, you're getting to know people and you're telling people what you want and who you are and all that stuff. That is critical for brand building for you, Brooke. People need to know who you are, what you and your husband are capable of, what your goals are, and watch what happens in the next year. It's going to be insane. The third thing is for the success formula, adding value to others. You're adding value to us by reaching out and asking questions. We're always welcoming feedback. And if we're not explaining something correctly or clearly or concisely, we're human. Most of us have full-time jobs on the ADPI team, and we have, some of us are still active duty military and putting this all together for you guys, which takes a lot of work, but we're not perfect. So by you asking us questions, you're adding value. You're also adding value to the community, the Adam community, and also the main Facebook group, because you're posting things and you're answering people's questions based on the stuff that you've learned already, which is amazing, and providing resources that you've used. That's adding value. The fourth thing is, action. If you get stuck in analysis paralysis, you're just going to be running in mud or running in sand or whatever. You're not going to get anywhere. You've got to break through. It's that one small step that really makes everything turn into a snowball rolling downhill. So you learn, network, add value, take action. That is Brooke Strom. That's what you're doing, and that is the success formula. If you do those four things over and over again, I say this every single day, and I'll say it till the day I die. If you do those four things over and over again with the intention to be 1% better, success will hunt you down. And success is coming your way. It is. You're on the doorstep to success because you're doing these things. Mark my words. We're going to watch this very interview back in 6 months and a year, and you're going to see what success you have. So it's great to document this moment.
Right. Yeah, that's perfect. So Adam, highly recommend for anybody who doesn't know what that is. Me being on the camera is like, I hate it. It's not my thing, but there's a 30-day challenge in Adam where you do a Facebook Live every day and talk about your goals and stuff like that. And honestly, the first one I did, I probably still won't watch it. I won't ever watch it because I don't want to see it. But today I did my live and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. It's not so scary anymore.
It's like having a conversation with yourself, kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So what would you say is the single most influential piece of advice you could give to somebody who is fearful of getting started?
Oh my gosh.
Brooke did not prepare for this, by the way, because there's no script here. We're just winging it. So what have you learned? Do you have a couple pieces of advice that you've learned, just things that you've learned in general from picking through resources in the academy and stuff like that and through Adam?
Honestly, just start somewhere. I kind of just started and I didn't even know where I was officially starting. I just kind of started asking questions, and then, somebody or even just reading the post, turn the notifications on in the group and see all the questions everyone else is asking, and just look at stuff and find stuff that's like, oh yeah, I have that same question, and kind of feed off of that or comment on it just so that you see all the updates from everybody else in the group who posts on it. That's honestly where I started. And then I tend to like overdo things. Like I can't just like halfway in do things. I'm like all or nothing. So then I signed up for the Real Estate Investing Academy, and that has helped a lot, even just with figuring out what the acronyms mean. And then like halfway through the Military House Hacking book, that was another great resource. But honestly, just looking at all the posts, I probably looked at them for like 3 days and read every single post and every single comment on every post, and was like trying to figure out, well, what the acronyms were, but kind of where everybody else was, so that nobody wants to really look silly, but if anybody has, it's probably me, because I'm like commenting on every post like, hey, what does this mean? Can you do this? Is this a thing?
But you're willing, you're bold, you're taking that action. And you mentioned, sorry to interrupt you there, but I had a thought here that I think is important for people to understand about you. You mentioned acronyms. So, and then earlier you mentioned BRRRR. So tell us what BRRRR means.
I think every time I say that, I add or take out an R.
So, I still do too. I mean, I've done it 10 times, and I still am like, buy, so what is it?
So buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what my husband and I plan on doing, being that he's in construction. The first R, he will be, doing most of that. So yeah. But really cool. My favorite one though is OPM. Like it's a real thing. Other people's money, not the personnel management.
Yes.
Other people's money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of these military terminology we're going to have to switch around into real estate terminology for people, but OPM is a good one. But yeah, so actually that question came up earlier today. I think it was on a welcome post, but somebody said, "Hey, TAD or TDY at a training school, and I think I want to save up my money, and how much money does it take to start real estate investing?" So we'll put you on the spot here. What would you say to somebody like that who says, I got to save my money to invest in real estate?
Well, I mean, that's one way. If he wanted to do it that way, that's, his forte. But probably for me, well, see, I like to have a safety net. So for me, I would just make sure that I had enough to, if something went wrong in something, because nothing is ever going to go perfect in any real estate investing or investing period. But I don't know. I mean, do you need anything? You just need to know the right people. You need to be educated. You need to, I don't know, just do it. Just figure it out.
Well, okay, stop right there. What you just said, you need to know somebody. That's networking. You need to be educated. That's the learning piece. And you need to just do it. That's action. That is literally the thing that we just went through. So you just spouted that off as if it was like the success formula. And guess what? That's what I just said it was too. And so that's exactly right. So OPM, it kind of ties into that. If you build a team around, a family, if you get educated, you start networking, telling people that everyone around you, my dentist knows I'm a multifamily investor. Everybody, the person who works at the gas station down the street knows that I'm a multifamily investor. They probably own 7 Chevrons, and I don't know that unless I ask them, and they don't know what to do with their money. Same with my dentist. He has no idea what to do with his money, and he's a busy job. So network and do that piece. But then when you do that, you start building teams, and you start surrounding yourself in this group of like, well, that guy told me last week that he's got money, or like your uncle or your grandpa or your parents or friends or whoever has a retirement account, or who knows what it is. But there are people, there's so much money out there and people have no idea what to do with, that you can work with those people as like a joint venture. There's so many different dynamic ways to structure a deal like that, but money's out there, folks. You don't have to wait to save $20,000, $30,000 to buy a property and then wait again to buy, to $20,000, $30,000 to buy a property. You can find OPM, hard money. Find a commercial lender that does hard money. I mean, we have a commercial lending division also, but find any commercial lender that does hard money. And you got to know the language, so get educated. You got to know what you're doing, and then put yourself out there and do like you said, do the BRRRR strategy. In fact, one of our guests on our podcast is David Green, the author of the book on BRRRR real estate investing, I think is what it's called, which is published by Bigger Pockets Publishing, obviously, but he's the co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. And that book, if you haven't read it yet, you probably should, Brooke, because you're about to get into it. But
my list.
Yeah. And so, but the BRRRR method is a great strategy. And it's also, as you'll find once you do our military multifamily academy, is an amazing stepping stone into the multifamily world, because BRRRR real estate investing on the single family side is almost the same idea as buying a non-stabilized multifamily asset with a bridge loan product. So they coincide, kind of parallel. So, holy cow, that was a lot. Thank you for that advice. And I want to kind of just allow you to just say whatever you want to say. Is there anything that you want to add to people? Is there anything you want to say about your experience or about your path? We didn't actually. Let's go back to what we were just saying. I just interrupted myself and you probably there, so I apologize. But BRRRR, you guys are going to buy a property. Mm-hmm. You're going to probably use what, a wholesaler to find a property, or local people that you know?
Yeah, I've been connecting with some local people in my area, real estate agents and people who have leads on other.
And how do you connect with those people?
Well, I found a person in my unit who I literally didn't know did real estate investing in my local area, and I literally walked into his office and I'm like, so tell me about real estate investing in Duluth, because I know nothing and I want to start. And he was like, here's who I use for my lending. Here's who I use for my, finding deals. And I wrote them all down, and then I reached out to all of them.
Totally. Yeah. And so you can also join local, Duluth, Minnesota wholesalers Facebook group or something, and see if you can find, or a real estate investing group locally there. Yep. And if they have virtual events, attend those. If they have in-person ones, eventually attend those. And tell them, I'm looking for a wholesaler to find me a single family property that my husband and I can flip or, buy and hold. And so that's going to be amazing for you. You'll be able to buy a property. Let's give people an example. So buy a property for $50,000 that, and I'm just picking like kind of bland numbers from like Midwest USA, wherever, like Kansas City numbers, whatever, where I invested in single family. So buy a house for $50,000. A wholesaler probably got it under contract for $40,000. So they make $10,000 on the transaction, sell you a property that when renovated is worth $100,000 or $110,000 maybe. Mm-hmm. So then you bought it for $50,000 with hard money, none of your own money. You use a hard money lender. You're going to pay them, maybe $700, $800 a month, depending on what the interest rate is annualized from them. But you're going to also borrow enough to make that payment. That's a little hint. So borrow enough to make that payment. And then, you're going to say, so $50,000, you're going to put $20,000 into the deal. Again, you just borrowed that amount of money. So renovate it. You're into it for $70,000. Then it comes the rental. You get a tenant in there, and then you will try to refinance the property. You will refinance the property, and it'll appraise for 110. You'll cash out at 70. You'll loan to value. You'll get $75,000 back to pay off everybody. You might even walk away with cash in your pocket and a property that you have no money in that is cash flowing. That's the BRRRR method right there. It's brilliant. It's genius. You need to have the right team in place, but you're going to do it. And I can't wait to watch you and support you along the way. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm like super excited. Like I want to quit my job tomorrow. I'm not going to do that, just so you know.
Yeah.
I would rather do this full time, because I would love to just go there and fix things up, and I could sit all day and look for properties and look at just different numbers and try to figure out how it all works. So
yeah, well, good.
More than excited to be there.
Love it. So what would you like to leave others with right now? How would you like to inspire them to take action?
Oh my gosh, just start. If I would have known what I know now and what I've learned in 1 month 10 years ago, how would my life be different? I don't know, just start asking questions, start reading all the posts in the group, and just, find somebody you can connect with. I talked to somebody last night on Messenger that I've never met in real life, and was just like, hey, message me. I have some information, and I've been doing this for a while, and I can give you some pointers. And I was like, honestly blown away by like everyone's willingness to just tell me all these things that they know. Like, I'm like, this feels like it should be a secret, but everyone's just telling me all this awesome information. And I literally have probably like 30 pages of notes of just like little things that I've heard that I'm like, oh, okay. And then my book list is massive, and I listen to podcasts and audiobooks on my lunch break and do consults with people. All of those consults that I've done, I've not paid anything for any of them. And they're telling me how to structure my business, what I should look for tax strategies, how to get money. I talked to Dion, and he was like, oh, you have like so many options. And I'm just blown away by the amount of knowledge that is just like there for the taking. So just take it.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I mean, you guys heard it. And you know what, by the way, those 30 pages of notes you have, there's nothing more gratifying than when you look at a page, and this is going to happen to you in 3, 6, and 9 months and forever. You're going to look at a page of notes and go, I don't need this anymore because I know this like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
I just did that last night on something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels good. Like I did that, and now I'll never forget that process.
Right.
So when you do that, it's going to be amazing. And create checklists along the way, especially for Burr. You know, your first one's going to be kind of a mess, you know, but then you just hack through it and it's fine. And then you get through it, and the next one will be a piece of cake. So, so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for adding value to this audience. I think you guys heard it as clear as day. Learn, network, add value, take action. Biggest thing is take action, which is exactly what sums up Brooke Strom here, you guys. If you want advice on how to take action, reach out to Brooke. I'm sure she'd be glad to tell you what resources to reach out to and how to do it. But that is the biggest thing is, like Brooke said, just get started. 1% better, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy, so thanks for taking your time out of the day to do this. And I am really excited to watch you grow in this, and I'm excited to be a part of it, honestly. So anything we can do to help you out, please let us.
I'm just happy to be able to add value. I feel like I've just taken so much of it that it's nice to be able to give back to somebody who's maybe just sitting there like, I don't want to ask a question. So ask it.
That's what it's all about. I love it. All right. Well, thanks so much. And you guys will be seeing both Brooke and I all over the place. Believe that. All right. Talk to you soon.